Okay, you guys, welcome. This is Cleta Colson-Eyre, commonly known as Cleta the Cheetah. And I'm so excited to welcome all of you. And I know that Karen is so impressed that on my Boss Babe call, we have 200 people. But Karen, I invited just a few of my closest friends. And when they heard you were speaking, they were like, yes, I am participating. So I want to read a little bit about Karen to y'all. She is, and then I'm going to tell you what I love about her so much. Okay, here we go. Aaron, I could have had this out and ready to go, but I didn't. All right. I'd like to introduce y'all to my friend, Karen Ridle, National Sales Director from Glen Allen, Virginia. Karen has earned 13 Mary Kay cars, and the last 10 have been the beautiful pink Cadillac. And she is currently driving her first pink Cadillac Escalade. I have been in that pink Cadillac, and I saw Chuck drive it without his hands on the wheels. It did make me nervous. So Karen led her Dream Giver unit to a unit club 18 years every year since they debuted as a unit, which is pretty awesome. 11 times as a Circle of Excellence unit club. Her highest year was in the Prestige Circle with over $800,000 in retail sales. Karen was a top 10 director in the Emerald Seminar 4 times. She earned the top director trip 11 times. She and her husband Chuck have traveled to Rome, Italy, Hawaii 3 times, Monte Carlo, Beijing, China, London, England, a luxury cruise to Alaska, Argentina, Edinburgh, Scotland, Dublin, Ireland. Karen and Chuck went to Greece on their first NSD trip. In a few weeks, they're going to leave on their second one. It's a cruise, an Alaskan cruise. Brad is so jealous. Her highest monthly commission so far has been over $20,500 will make you out. So y'all just kind of think about your bank account, and I'm gonna just mute everybody real quick, and Karen, you can unmute again. Y'all think about your bank account, and like on the first, boom, $20,000 more was in there, and it wasn't a loan. Okay, anyway, all right. Her highest honor was being voted Miss Go Give by her peers in April 2009. All of you that know me, that know I've been doing the Boss Babe calls a long time. Well, she had this thing several years ago, and she's like, we're doing the Boss Babes. We all love that phrase. So I have done it every single year. Karen has put it out, and the summer school. She's amazing. She is a strategic thinker. So anyway, okay. What else about Karen? Her Dream Team National Area completed Gold Circle in their first full year as a national. I'm sure she'll be inner circle soon. She's married to Chuck. She has one son, Trey. Trey's the director of operations for the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's pretty impressive. He's married to Abigail, and they have an almost 4-year-old son, Calvin, and then Griffin is almost 2-year-olds, and baby 3 will be here in June. So you guys, that's a little bit about my friend. Karen and I, we met each other before this, but we got to know each other on my first top director trip to Beijing, China. I was single, and so I was just clinging to all my friends. And so Lisa Annabelle and Karen and Chuck and Brenda Fitter and her husband. And so they all took me in, and, you know, all their husbands took my picture. They said, don't come back till you got a husband because we can't handle you. And so I found Brad just in the nick of time to bring in the next year. And so I want to just show y'all a short little video. And I wanted to do this because for all of you that are working on big goals, and we may go to, instead of 8:30, we may go to 8:35. Okay. But all of you working on big goals, this is why I work hard, is for the memories of the times with people like Karen and some of the other girlfriends on here. So I'm going to share my screen with y'all, and we're going to watch this little 2-minute video. You're going to love it. And then we'll let you share us. Here we go.
I want to cry.
You probably didn't know I had that many pictures of you. So many good times. And you guys, the reason I played that because a lot of you were in the pictures, but if you're not, that's what you have to look forward to if you just continue your business and really work it like you know how to. So without any further ado, I love you, Karen. You are a blessing to my life and to all of Mary Kay. No kidding. She has made some major changes in Mary Kay, or in additions, I would say, with prayer calls at career conference, with the directors get together once a month and do a prayer call. She is just a wonderful, godly Christian leader, and Brad and I value her and Chuck so well. So I'm going to quit blabbing and let them hear what they came to hear. So thank you, Karen, in advance for teaching us how to finish strong.
I love you, Cleta. I seriously am about ready to just boohoo. I saw Lisa Ann.
Oh.
That I'm seriously like on the edge of the ugly cry. So I'm gonna start talking because, oh, y'all, I mean, I'm just so blessed. I'm just so blessed that I stretched for big finishes where we are right now because it's who you become in the process of the stretch, and it's the people you're around. And I just love those pictures, those memories. I'm so grateful that I was willing to be uncomfortable and to stretch for the wins because it's really been so impactful to my journey. So I see so many of you that I love dearly that are on. Thank you for being on. I had no idea this was going to be this big of a group, but it makes me so happy. And I just hope that God will use me to inspire you to believe bigger in the dreams that he places in your heart. That's my mission in life, and I'm very passionate about it. So I'm coming to you tonight as your NSD coach, Karen Ridle. Okay, I'm ready to talk strategy, but it's not so much like meat and potato strategy, although I will give you a few little things. It's more about two big things that hold us back from finishing strong that I really want to talk about. And this is going to be applicable if you are the newest of consultants, a seasoned consultant, a sales director, or a top sales director. It's going to be applicable to everybody. So, just in case you don't know me, my story is that I started 32 years ago. I was not looking for anything. My former sister-in-law reached out to me to share the Mary Kay opportunity, and I told her no 3 times, hard and fast, no. I was not thinking about it. I did not ask her to call me back. I wasn't wondering if I could do this. It was just no, no, no. Because I just couldn't see this for myself. I couldn't see me as a Mary Kay consultant. But she saw something in me that I didn't see. And thank the good Lord that she kept connecting with me over about 4 to 6 weeks of time. And it was that fourth time that she called me that I feel like God took the veil off my eyes. And I found the courage to say yes because I was broke and it wasn't getting any better. And I was smart. If somebody would teach me, I could learn, and you can learn too, because we all have jobs, and you learn how to do a job. And so, Mary Kay is a skills-based business. I became a director quickly in my first year, and earned my car and had my son Trey. And when Trey was born, I was able to leave my full-time job and be a work from home mom as a Mary Kay sales director. I always wanted to be home when I had kids. So it was probably the first real dream that Mary Kay paid for me was to be able to be a work from home mom, a new mom. I went through a bad divorce about 4 years later. Not that I think there's really any good divorces, but this one was like a made for TV movie bad divorce. Like it was just not a fun season of life. And I stepped away from Mary Kay for about 5 years, went back into corporate America. And that's where I realized that my heart was still in Mary Kay. And even though I made great money and I truly did like my job, I quickly found out the better job I did for the law firm, the more work they gave me. And so that's when I decided to restart my Mary Kay business. By this time, Chuck and I had been married for a year, and it was a 5 year walk away from Mary Kay. Although I was still a consultant, I never fully got out. I just didn't do anything to build my business except order for myself and my mom. And so when I came back, I knew I wanted to do things differently. I knew I wanted to be a leader that changed lives. And I came back with a new mindset and a new commitment to working my business full circle like a champion. And so I'm back and I'm grateful. That was 21 years ago. And I'm so, so grateful. So I do love strategy and ideas. Cleta's right. That's one of the reasons that we are such good friends. One of the many reasons, but we do love to strategize. We love ideas. So tonight I want to talk about two strategies for you, and one of them is God's strategy for us, whether we're leaders or want to be leaders or working to become a leader. This is God's strategy for all of us who are building a Mary Kay business. And that strategy comes down to one word. And I'm going to tell that to you in a minute, but I'm going to start here first with say, you got to be clear on what the win is by June 30th. And I need everybody on here. What do we have? 280. We have 280 people. I need all 280 of you to be crystal clear on what it is that you are reaching by June 30th. And if you don't have a goal and you're like, I just haven't had a good year and I'm just going to wait till July 1st. No, we're not doing that. We're going to have a June 30th win that makes you get out of your comfort zone and makes you run to the finish line. I see Kelsey's got that red jacket going. All right, Queen's Quarter Sales. I'm not going to keep shouting them out, but throw them in there so I can see what your commitment is and your girlfriends can see what your commitment is. You've got to know specifically what your June 30th finish line is. Whether it's adding a certain amount of customers, whether it's paying for some big, huge dream with your profit, whether it's a career path, whether it's a unit club, whether it's a car, whatever it is, you've got to be crystal clear. Okay. And you got to know, like, how much more do I have to do to get there? Now, if you're confused about any of this, talk to your sales director. But I want to ask you, what is standing in your way of getting to that June 30th win? Because there's so many things that can stop us. And let's just be clear, it's the enemy that wants to stop us. Because when you reach a big goal, when you get a big win, your platform is going to increase. And that means more people are going to hear your voice at whatever level you are in Mary Kay. More people will hear your voice because when you win and you're a champion, you will increase your platform, which is where you impact people's lives. So the enemy does not want you to get to that place. So he's got this big old tool belt on, and he's got all kinds of things in that tool belt, like doubt and unbelief and procrastination and comparison. Oh yeah, he is loaded up that tool belt with things he's going to throw at you to get you off track for reaching your goal. So first off, if you're clear on where you're going, but you're like, I need like more knowledge. Okay, I think we're way overtrained in Mary Kay, but maybe you need some scripts. Maybe you need to know, like, how do I coach a party? Those are great things to tell your director. I need help with this skill. Remember, I told you when I was sharing my story with you that Mary Kay is a skills-based business. So if you could first identify what are one or two skills that you need to get solid on. Okay, that would be a great conversation to have with your sales director tonight or tomorrow to say, could we have a conversation where we specifically talk about how to increase this skill? Okay, so getting more Mary Kay knowledge, that's easy, but I need you to be specific with your leader so that it's not a generic conversation. This is holding me back. I don't know how to book a party. I can book a facial. I don't know how to turn it into a party. Or I don't know how to share the opportunity after a party. I don't know how to do the 4-point recruiting plan. Get specific on what skill you need to learn and then go to your sales director. All right. I told you there were two things that I feel hold people back the most from reaching big wins. And we're going to be talking about a June 30th win, but this is really any time in your business, working for a career path promotion or a car or whatever, but we're going to be focusing on the June 30th. So one of the big things that stop us is that we're busy. And we get really distracted by busy. And we have got to get focused on how we're using our time intentionally. Okay? Because otherwise, have you ever done this? Have you ever woken up in the morning and then you're like, okay, it's going to be a great day. I'm going to get a lot done. And then you look at your watch and it's 8:45 at night. And you're like, oh my gosh, where did my day go? Like, come on, I was supposed to do some things. So you've got to get clear on what do you intentionally need to do today and every day to get to your goal. I would say that some of those things would be, who am I booking? And who am I sharing the opportunity with, right? So how are we sharing product and how are we sharing the opportunity? But we've got to get clear on what are the intentional faith-filled efforts, or IPAs, income producing activities? What are those things we must do? Because otherwise we can get so busy doing all the things. And there might be some things that you need to either pay somebody else to do for you, like wrapping up Mother's Day gifts. You don't have time for that. Sell them and get somebody else to wrap them up, right? Like, what do you need to be intentionally focused on? Because scrolling is stopping you. I kind of gave up social media recently. I just get on and do what I got to do and get right back off because scrolling is taking up way too much time. You don't have time to scroll. You can scroll on July 1st if you want to. I bet you once I got serious about stepping away from my social media, oh man, I had so much more time in my day and I wasn't even on it that much. So, where is your time going? Time management is a big thing that I want to talk to you first and foremost because we are busy and there's a lot of distractions in the world. So I'm going to give you 2 tips right now on how to manage your time. Now, one of the tips that I'm going to give you is not mine. It is from National Sales Director Emeritus Dawn Dunn. And Dawn Dunn taught me as a newer director, plenty in 20. Can you write that down? Plenty in 20. And she would say that no matter what level you are in Mary Kay, you have got 20-minute blocks of time where you're waiting for your child to come out of soccer practice, where you're on your way to a party and you get there early and you don't want to walk in that early, you got 20 minutes. Maybe when you're on a lunch break at work and you got 20 minutes. She would say you can get plenty done in 20 minutes. So one of the things I do is I have a big old to-do list, my 6 most important thing that's a little bit over that. But sometimes I'll grab out my little hot pink Post-it notepad and I'll write down what are the 3 things I want to get done in the next 20 minutes. I'll look at that big list of all those things I need to work on, and then I'll grab 3 or 4 and I'll go, okay, at 11 a.m., I'll be done with these 3 things. I need like a sense of urgency. I need a quick 20-minute burst to get 5 booking calls done, right? I need 20 minutes to do something intentional. And so how many blocks of 20 can you work in a day? A lot of them. And you may not be full time, but what if you could do a 20-minute block at lunchtime and a 20-minute block right after work and then a 20-minute block right after dinner, right? And so I'm telling you, a plenty in 20 can move you ahead. Now, when we talk about managing time, one of the things that I see is that everyone waits till the end of the month. Are you guilty of that? Like, do you really wait to pour it on until the 27th or 28th or right where we are right now? And that's what I find happens. It's that sense of urgency. If you talk about asking somebody for help in reaching a goal by the end of the month, when do they all book? At the end of the month. So we got to squeeze up our timeline. So I'm going to ask you to start working in 15-day blocks of time. Instead of setting a month-long goal, you can set it and you should. You should have a month-long goal, but then I want you to break it up and I want you to have a 15-day goal. And I want you to have some benchmarks that you're managing in that 15-day block of time. I would be looking at how much are you selling in those 15 days? What's your goal? What's your benchmark to reach your end of the month goal? How many faces will you pamper? How many interviews will you hold? Right? How many team members will you add? So let's set the month-long goal, but let's squeeze it into 2 15-day blocks and get serious about it. Like on the 15th of the month, take your hot pink highlighter and circle in that date on your date book. You should have your goals posted above your workspace. Have a 15-day tracking right there. Right? Tell your director, hey, I want to be accountable to you. Here is my 15-day plan. This is what I will get done in 15 days. Okay? So I want you to get clear on working short little blocks of time, 20 minutes, and being highly productive and not distracted at all in that 20 minutes. And then taking 15-day blocks to reach your benchmarks because we have to master being busy. Busy is going to shut you down. Busy is going to tell you you can't do it because you're too busy. Look, I'm just going to tell you, this is how I talk about the opportunity when I talk about Mary Kay, and I believe it. And I'm talking it to you now as a consultant or director. I believe Mary Kay is the busy woman's best side hustle option. That's how I talk about it. because we can set our own goals. We can work our own schedule. We don't have quotas. We are our own boss, and we can work literally in 15-minute blocks of time. Now, I know a party takes an hour to 2 hours of time, but I also teach my consultants how to fill in the gaps with 15-minute skin analyzer consultations, virtual consultations, 15-minute 5 and 15 to share the newest products in the PCP mailing and the lookbook, the brand new lookbook. You can squeeze in, you can teach your team how to work in small 15-minute blocks, hour blocks, and 2-hour blocks. You got to get good at talking about how Mary Kay is the busy woman's best side hustle option, because it truly is going to be one of the biggest obstacles that you have in team building and that you have yourself in working your business, because it's a busy world. Okay, are you ready? This is the second tip that I'm going to give you that I believe is God's strategy. You know, the hard part of chasing down a big goal is finding the belief in yourself, the faith to keep going even when it gets hard. That's when we typically jump ship, is when In Touch is broken. Well, that's a whole other story. Let's not talk about that. But when In Touch is not showing the correct numbers, when it looks impossible, when it doesn't look realistic, that is what takes so many people out of the race of reaching their big goal. We set the goal and we feel great. I mean, we are on fire. We tell our husband, we tell our director, we tell everybody, and we're so excited because we're going to reach this really big goal, and we know it and we feel it. And then we get into action. And at some point in the game, we lose belief. The numbers don't show up quick enough. We don't have a great party. Someone we knew was going to join our team doesn't, and we feel defeated. And all of a sudden, our belief plummets and we get out of action. Can anybody relate? We might even hide from our director. And why is that? It's because we can't see the finish line anymore. There's actually a term for this. This is called quietly quitting. It's when our belief disappears and we just stop talking about it, and we hope that nobody remembers that we talked about this goal. Whether you're a director and you shared it with your unit and then the numbers don't add up, so you just quietly quit, you stop talking about it. Maybe you said, this is my time to become a director and I'm going to do it this time. And then the numbers don't add up and you just quietly quit. And you just hope that nobody remembers that you said it. See, I'm studying a lot about extraordinary leaders in the Bible. And one of the traits of an extraordinary leader is that they carry the vision that God gives them to completion. Now, it might take longer than you think, but you don't give up on the dream that God has placed in your heart. You can see it over and over and over again. Moses and Abraham and Joshua, so many extraordinary leaders all throughout the Old and New Testament had a vision that God gave them to carry, and they had to see it through. They couldn't quietly quit, and you can't either. It's not who you are. It's not the DNA of Mary Kay Cosmetics. It's not the DNA of those legacy national sales directors that founded this company on hard work and big goals and big dreams, and they didn't quietly quit. The one-word strategy that I'm going to talk about tonight for the last 10 minutes, just hang with me, we'll be a little bit late, is faith. It's actually a strategy. It's actually how you race to your dream is faith. You remember Luke 18:27? What appears humanly impossible is more than possible with God. For God can do what man cannot. Now, you know what the Bible says about faith. Faith without works is dead. That's James 2:18. Faith without works is dead. So when you get out of action, that means your faith has died. I believe the biggest strategy that we have in reaching our big goals is our faith. God is looking for your faith. Okay, this is kind of what I envision. I believe God has this thing called a faithometer. I'm totally making this up. It's not in the Bible, okay? But I believe he has this faithometer. Okay, and so he's looking down on the earth and he's looking at all of these Mary Kay consultants and sales directors, and he's got this faithometer and he's beep, 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 beep. He's looking all over the earth. And then it goes over Cleta and it goes beep, 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 because he goes, oh, Cleta, she's got faith. She's working. I see her. She's in faith. She's doing the faith-filled efforts. So if God takes his faithometer for your head, is it going off? Are you showing God that you have faith? That this dream, that this goal, that this vision is going to happen? So I don't know if you've read this book. It's one of my favorite books on vision. It's called Vision Map. It's by Joel Malm. And he talks about in one of the chapters, this is what he talks about. He says, you see, God, there it is. Cleta's holding it up. Got to get this book. It's an amazing book. See, God gives you the dream and he's asking you, he's inviting you to partner with him to reach it. Y'all, you're partnering with the maker of heaven and earth. It's his dream. I always say, his gift to you is the dream. And what you do with the dream is your gift back to him. So he's saying, here you go, Selah. Here you go, Cheryl. Here you go, Misty. Here's a dream I'm giving you. I'm inviting you, partner with me, girl. Partner with me. And this is how Joel Malm breaks down this dream that I think is brilliant. And I did this when I was finishing up my national area. Okay. You got to figure out what's your responsibility and what's God's responsibility. So he talks about getting a whiteboard or a big piece of poster board, and you're going to take a black marker and you're going to write down your responsibility. I need to book the parties. I need to hold the parties. I need to hold the interviews. Now make it quantifiable. I need to hold 10 parties this month. I need to do 20 interviews this month, whatever your specifics are, in black, because that's your responsibility. And then on the other side, you write in red, what's God's responsibility? I need her to sign. That's God's responsibility. I need her to say yes to a party. I need her to say yes to saying, being one of my hostesses. God, give me favor. My responsibility is black. I got to pick up the phone and I got to make the call. I got to book the appointment. His responsibility is her saying yes. His responsibility is my team production being more than it's ever been to finish my car, to finish my Cadillac, to finish the trip. The red is God's responsibility. So how do you do this? Okay, the black ink is what you have to focus on. It's the only thing you can control is the black ink, the booking calls, the holding the parties, the follow-up calls, the interviews, the follow-up on the interviews. These are all your responsibility. Now, what about the red list? Well, the red ink list, that's your prayers. That's how you pray. God, please give me favor on my booking calls. Lord, I'm getting ready to make booking calls. Please show up with your favor. And give them the desire to say yes to me. Lord, thank you that you're divinely connecting me with hostesses. Thank you that you're putting people in my space that will say yes to being a hostess. And I will show you that I'm willing to do the work and I'm going to make the faith-filled efforts of making the booking calls. You see, what happens when you focus on the black and you pray about the red is that you're going to get an immeasurably more finish. Ephesians 3:20, it's my life verse. It's our area verse. Now, glory be to God, who by his mighty power at work within us is able to do immeasurably more, infinitely more, exceedingly abundantly, super abundantly, every translation I can find, more than our highest desires, thoughts, and prayers. God is going to show up more than you can imagine. I got two stories and then I'm closing out. My first story was when I was a brand new consultant. I started my business on August 7th. And so I missed seminar that year because I was brand spanking new. It had already been held by the time I signed up. And so I started working my business. I started doing the black ink. I started doing the parties and I was teachable and coachable from my director. And I learned how to build a customer base and I learned how to build a team. And around the end of March, the 1st of April, I got a call from my now senior sales director, Daynette. And Daynette said to me, Karen, I'm looking at your numbers. Do you know you're like within stretching range of finishing the National Court of Sales? Now, it is a big stretch, but I really think you can do it because you're holding so many parties and you're selling a lot of product. Would you want to partner with me? And would you want to get that diamond ring? Now, y'all, it was the 30th anniversary of Mary Kay, and the ring was right here. So, spoiler alert, I earned it. Okay. So, it was this ring. It's my very first diamond ring from Mary Kay, and the pearl is, I'm so glad I got my nails done today. Don't they look pretty? Okay. The pearl is the 30th anniversary stone or gift or whatever. Okay. It's the pearl. So I got so excited. Y'all, I didn't even finish the first quarter as a star. September 15th, I wasn't even a star. December 15th, I was a diamond star because they had a London fog jacket that made me stretch. It had a Mary Kay logo on it. Sorry, my nose is itching. And so I was increasing my momentum across the year. And guess what? I finished. I finished that goal of National Court of Sales. Oh my gosh, Lisa Ann, I wish I had that jacket. We'd have our picture taken with it. So I finished earning that diamond ring, even though it was not realistic. It didn't look possible. I'm honestly glad we didn't have InTouch back then because I couldn't check it every day. All I could do was all I could do to do the bookings, to get the parties booked, the hostesses, all the things. Guess what? I went to that seminar, 7.5 months pregnant. I had earned my car and I was in DIQ and I was waddling across stage as a very pregnant DIQ, picking up my diamond ring. Seriously, built belief like you would not believe, showed me what's possible when I don't give up. I'm so glad I didn't quietly quit. Okay, my next story, and we'll close with this one. Well, we'll close with one more thing. Okay. My unit's first top trip. It was in 2009. Our goal was trip. The year before we had done 400,000. Um, but my real goal was I wanted to be top 10 because around middle of the year, I started getting these postcards from Emerald Sales Development that was saying, congratulations, Karen, you led your unit to the number 6 position in the Emerald division or whatever it started out. I think I started around 20. And I got so excited by those postcards. And I noticed that each month, the postcard, I would go up in my ranking. And I was super excited. And all of a sudden, all I could think was top 10. I wanted to be one of the top 10 directors. Well, the thing about being top 10 is that you don't know what you have to do. You have no idea. You just have to work and hope that when you finish on June 30th at midnight Central Time, that your unit ended in the top 10 units. So we worked like crazy. And we finished on June 30th in the morning, $650,000. We were a trip unit around 9 o'clock in the morning on June 30th. But you see, that wasn't the end all goal. The end all goal was to be a top 10. And so we worked all day long. We had 2 DIQs. We were winning in every way possible, star consultants and DIQs and red jackets and all the things. And at midnight Central, our unit crossed over with $693,000 in retail sales. Like it was the biggest day ever in my business so far. And we finished that year. I will never forget it. Some of you have probably heard me tell the story. It's one of my favorite stories. So I was on stage. Chuck was right. My unit was right up in front because we were a trip unit. We had almost done 700,000, and Chuck was there at the edge of the stage down below taking pictures. Number 10, not Karen Ridle, and I was like, oh, for number 9. Like, this is awesome. Number 9 wasn't me. Number 8 wasn't me. Number 7, number 6, number 5. What in the world? By this time, my unit's crying. My mom's there. She's crying. I'm crying. Chuck Ridle, his mouth is like this. Because we're like, what in the world is happening? The number 4 director, Karen Ridle. Look at my face, y'all. Look at my face. Like disbelief. What in the world? That's my good friend, National Sales Director Emeritus Candy Jackson. I was blown away. And you will be too when you don't quietly quit and you stay in the game and you work with faith, like a shield. We're holding it up in front of you. And your faith is, I saw God do it before. He got me to DIQ. He can do it now. I saw God do it before. He got me to star consultant. I can do it now because nothing is impossible if you stay in a mindset of faith. Well, I want to read this and I'll send it to Cleta so she can share it with you. This was the devotion that I shared with my unit or my area this morning. It's from Os Hillsman and it's called Listening to the Father's Heart. And it's written to Os. Os heard God speak this to him, and this is what he wrote. So that's why it says son at the very beginning when you see it, S-O-N. But I'm going to add in daughter, okay? Because it's for everybody. It's what God was saying to Os Hillsman. Listen to this. Son, let me remind you of the God you have a personal relationship with. I am the God who made the oceans. I am the God who made the lion, the elephant, and countless other unusual animals. I am the God who made the galaxies that are so far reaching you cannot begin to imagine the actual expanse. I am the God who made every human being uniquely different. I am the God that can have a relationship with more than 7 billion people all at the same time. I am the God of all truth. I am the God of invention. I am the God that knows all your needs before you ask. Yes, I am the God that proclaimed to Abraham that there is nothing too hard for me, even allowing an old woman to give birth to a child. Son, there is nothing too hard for me, especially when you exercise your faith in me to do it. Genesis 18:14. Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time, I will return to you according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Matthew 19:26. But Jesus looked at them and said, with men, this is impossible, but with God. Write down those 3 words. But with God, all things are possible. And then Jeremiah 32, I added this in myself, 32:17 and 27. 32:17 says, sovereign Lord, you created the heavens and the earth by your great power and your outstretched arm. Nothing is too hard for you. And then verse 27, I don't have my Bible in front of me, but it sounds just like this. I am the God of all mankind. Nothing is anything too hard for me. No, it's not. And it's not too hard for you, for the vision that God gave you. It's not too hard for him. But with God, keep your faith and he will show you what's possible when you don't quietly quit and you go the distance and you do the black ink and you stay in faith and you show up and book parties, coach parties, hold interviews, follow up on interviews, all the things that we know to do. He will show you his immeasurably more on June 30th. I believe in you guys so much.
Girl, listen, I knew Karen was going to bring it. I knew she was. But when I say she brought it, she brought it. Karen, thank you so much. I spoke on Karen's call a couple weeks ago. She goes, anything I can do for you? I'm like, yes, there is, Karen. Then I decided to share it with the Mary Kay girls, all my friends. And so thank you for this example. It got me fired up. I don't know about y'all. I was thinking about my consultant, Donna Taylor. I'm fired up. I love every single thing you said. I love that I recorded it because honestly, I think that we all need to go back and like several times in the month, go back and listen to it again. I'm going to save the chat so you can see all the things. But Karen, thank you so much. Your faithometer is like dinging off the charts, and it's contagious. It's contagious to not give up. And I love the don't be a quiet quitter. Y'all, we've seen it in Mary Kay, and some of you have team members that quietly quit. You're like, where'd they go? Did they move out of the country? So I love every single thing you said. We're going to stop the call. I'm going to stop the recording, and it is on my YouTube channel if any of you guys want to get it. But